Hello, good evening. Welcome to Club Call. We are building up to Everton's trip to Doncaster Rovers in the Carabao Cup. Coaches are on their way, taking the travelling blues, who hopefully will get to celebrate some Everton goals tonight. We're 3 games in and we still haven't had that feeling. I had it briefly on Saturday for about 3 seconds 2 seconds, and then looked at the lines and with his flag up and realised, even if it's tight, we ain't getting that decision. Jack, a game Everton simply have to win tonight.
Yeah, just to save face more than anything at this point and get some confidence in these lads and, remind them you can score goals. You're allowed to. Not only are you allowed to, but it's encouraged.
Allowed to.
Yeah, trust me.
It's openly encouraged to.
At this point, we'd quite like you to. But if you can do it, do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jack, I know very much what you mean. But, openly encouraging players to score goals, I'm all about.
It seems to work as well, I've noticed.
Yeah,
football.
I think what you'll find is it's imperative to winning football matches.
Yeah, well, I've actually noticed a trend as well where quite often the team who scores the most goals in a game wins the game.
This is very
Michael Owen pointed it out once. One of
the
greatest pundits of our time, Michael Owen, he pointed out, I thought he's onto something there. People will get on his back about it and they'll go, no, that's not all this modern footy with the things and that. Back in my day where you just kicked it in the net and that, but he's onto something.
Absolutely, he's onto something. I've just realised we didn't swap the shirts either, so that's not good, is it?
Oh well,
that is not good. Yeah, that isn't good. Michael Owen, he was right. He did say you can't win a game without scoring a goal. So
the thing is, Michael Owen, he's been right about a lot of things in his time. Any time he said this is no ordinary chopper, if you remember.
I remember it, yeah.
Yeah, he's in the helicopter.
I remember it.
It wasn't an ordinary helicopter.
It wasn't.
So
because it was a simulator.
Yeah, exactly.
He was essentially,
it was a green screen.
Yeah, he wasn't even in it, so he was correct there.
He was right.
So who knows? Who knows? Mark Smith says hello, boys, from Bogota in Colombia. It's not man, Mark. It's not man.
Bet the weather's nicer in Colombia.
I think the weather may well be nicer. Mark may give us a weather update in a minute on what it's doing.
Yeah, let us know, Mark.
Let us know. I spoke to Mark before, Marcus, when Everton got James Rodriguez. He was telling us about that. What do you think of Luis Sinisterra, Mark? I know you're not Colombian, but you're in Colombia, so let us know what you think about him. Yeah, Everton, it's a game Everton have to win for me, and they have to score some goals, not just the one that would win a game. I'm not going Michael Owen. I mean, I want to see Everton take this game fully seriously, pay full respect to Doncaster Rovers tonight, and duly put some goals past them.
Well, I don't just want to see us win, I want to see us look like we're above this level of opposition, which we should be. No disrespect to Doncaster Rovers, but the Premier League side should be multiple levels above them. So really, we don't just have to win, we have to look a class above them. We don't make this look like this is our level and we're playing to our level. Look a better team than them in every department.
We need to be 3 classes above them, don't we, at least?
Yeah,
given that we're 3 leagues above them.
Yeah.
Peter Griffin. Ned? Peter Griffin?
Hello?
No, he hasn't done it. There you go. Has give us the actual quote. It says, when they don't score goals, they hardly ever win. And he's right.
Yeah.
He's correct. I mean, I did go to, I think it's still the only Premier League game without a shot on target, and Everton lost the game 1-0.
It's Sheffield United.
No, Manchester United away. We got beat 1-0, Steve Watson own goal. So it was quality from Everton.
I thought Sheffield United, when they beat us 2-0, if it was 2 deflections, that might have been no shots on target, that game.
The second one, when Thingy slid it under Pickford.
I don't remember it that well.
John Lundstrom played it down the wing, and it was the wing. What's it called? That winger that came on. Anyway, made it 2-0. Jay says, keep up the good work, lads. Great channel and content. Thank you very much, Jay. Much appreciated. Mark says, thanks for the mention. It's cloudy here, and there's still no Everton tops in Colombia. We did have this conversation, Mark, didn't we, when we got James Rodriguez, that Everton should really be diving in there, but
at this point, though, would it not be like classic Everton to come now and go, we've got tops for the Colombians?
We've got Mina shirts.
Yeah, we've got James shirts.
When he's gone.
Yeah.
Possibly. Possibly. Maybe we'll do it for Lewis Sinisterra if we got him. Who knows? Who knows? David Button says, let's not be surprised when we go a goal down tonight. Oh, come on, Dave. Come on. Come on. Few people going 4-0, Everton. James Williams has gone, he's gone full confidence here. He's gone 4-0 Everton and a Yusuf Chimiti hat-trick. That would be lovely, wouldn't it?
I'll get behind that, yeah. It'd be nice because Chimiti is not in the first team plans at the moment, really. He got minutes off the bench.
As a sub, maybe.
Yeah, but he's, he's a young lad, you can understand why. But it'd be nice for him to be able to throw his hat in the ring as well, just for the benefit of having options and players you think he could score or he could contribute to the team. It's good, isn't it? It'd be nice for him to get that little leg up and get a goal under his belt early in his time in England as well, so we're not sort of sat wondering, fans shouldn't get on his back anyway, but some might if he doesn't do anything early on in the years getting minutes. So it'd be nice if he could just sort of get that credit in the bank early and show what he can do.
Absolutely. Beto is has travelled. Whether he's involved, we'll see, but he's travelled with the lads. So
well, we know he's a massive Evertonian as well.
There you go.
Might just be on one of the coaches.
He might be on the coaches there. Might be, who knows? Gilly the Lemons says we'll draw 1-1 and go out on pens. Nice and positive there.
Yeah.
If I'm going for a prediction, I think it'll be 4-1 to Everton.
4. I'm thinking 2-0 Everton.
I just think it'll be classic Everton, where they'll score 4 goals and we'll all be like, Shady can do it. And it becomes a bit harder. But we'll see. Listen, I wouldn't rule out. We only beat Fleetwood 1-0 last year, didn't we? Damari Gray and things like that. So.
I think that 2-0, not be under too much pressure, but not really push the agenda too much ourselves and just comfortably coast through.
Wouldn't it be nice to win like 4-1? Not 4-0, it'd be nice. It'd
be lovely.
4-1 and like Lewis Dobbin to get one, Chimiti a couple, and someone like Decore, someone like that. Like one of those players that get off the mark.
Yeah, or Jimmy Garner.
Or something like that, get the confidence going. But I think it'll be a tough game because we're not playing very well. But what I would say is you'd think if Everton had the same amount of chances they've had, certainly in the 2 home games, you'd think they'd score some of the chances, surely. Yeah,
and you'd think we should take the chances we've had because we're playing against a lower team, and we should also make more chances because, again, we're playing against a team multiple divisions below us. So on paper, that's how it should go. But you've always got to factor in the potential for Everton happenings, haven't you?
Always. Kevin Murphy says, Creighton, kids kicked out, wife bribed, can't wait for Friday, lads. He's looking forward. Kev has gone early. He's looking forward to
I don't know what he's that
transfer deadline day. Yeah, I do. Maybe he doesn't want to tell us. Yeah. Dave says, sorry, Baz, I do expect us to win, though, but we never make things easy. Yeah. Well, that's it, isn't it? We've got to, like Jack just said, we have got to show the difference in ability, the difference in levels. Everton have got to do it. We've done it before. We've got to do it again. We've got to go out and prove it. It's got to take the game very seriously, treat it like a Premier League opposition, go and get the goal, then get the second and show them, use it, move the ball and all of that. And if you move it quickly enough, the team, these players are playing in League 2 for a reason. Move the ball quickly enough, take your opportunities when they come along.
The worst thing you can do in these cup games is play to the level of the team you're playing. I think these are only a League 2 team. We don't need to do this. We don't need to be as fast. We don't need to treat them as much respect. Just play to the best of your ability and let them fall short rather than just trying to get away with the least effort you can and still win. Just put no doubt into it. Just be a level above them.
That's it. Go and put the game to bed, even in the first half. Go out, play at a high tempo, high level, win your battles. Get it done. Get it done. Gary Ward says howdy. Hello, Kaz. Steve P says, I usually wouldn't be for this, but that Cornet link does kind of make sense if we could get him on loan with an option to buy, as he's very versatile left foot and can play on both wings, forward and left back. The left back part being the most important for me, as I still think it's a clear issue. His crossing ability is really good, which we're crying out for, especially with the Beto signing. The only worry is that he did spend a few months out injured. He was very good for Burnley, clearly a good player. Scored 9 league goals in one season for them. Obviously, I want Bakayoko, as we clearly need a right winger, but don't know how realistic this is with the money we've been waiting for. Probably talking 30 million. I think they want 25 plus, don't they?
For Bakayoko.
Corney.
You know what?
See, Corney, my view on it, Jack, is Corney would be sound if there was a winger coming in as well. So if there's Corney and a winger, and then you go, well, we've now got Corney can play basically anywhere, but he can play left back, and I think that would be great. Would I be happy if he's the winger? I'm not going to say no, because I feel like with the financial constraints Everton have had, I think they've done quite well this summer. I've criticised the recruitment team because they've looked in the wrong areas as far as I'm concerned for too long. But if what they've done so far, given how tight it is financially for us, I think the signings they've made have all made sense, and I can't have a go at them for that. If we can add another couple, which I believe we're after another 2, that'll make I think that could make a big difference for everyone.
Yeah, it's every box ticks pretty much, isn't it? And you could probably look at individual signings and go, oh, could we have got a better player there, or, you know, a longer term option in some situations. But if you get a decent player in every position you need, and the majority of these players are first team ready, are good enough to go into the first team, it can't be a bad transfer window, can it?
No, not at all, no. Wormy says, smash the like button, and he also says we should smash these. Top man. Luke, I've seen Luke before saying, what are your thoughts on... Where's it gone? What are your thoughts on Gomes, Gabaman, and players of that ilk moving on? Gabaman will either... 2 things will happen with Gabaman for me. 1 or 2 things. Always 2 things. John Blaine. Circa any year. So, he'll go on loan, never to return again. Or Everton will terminate his contract by mutual consent, thus making him be able to do whatever he wants. So I don't see he's not, there'll be nothing after Friday for him. He's not even come back, which means he's done.
He has no Everton future.
There's nothing. He's done. Be great if someone would take him on loan, whatever. But I imagine they may well. They'll be a partner of the ways somehow. Andre Gomes, I expect will be a deadline day exit from Everton to Saudi or France. A couple of Saudi clubs looking at him. I think he goes by Friday. Neal Maupay, I think, will move to France or Italy on Friday. I'd expect Tom Cannon to leave the football club, possibly permanently, but maybe a loan by Friday as well. I'm just thinking of anybody else in that squad who...
There's Delhi, but it's...
Delhi won't go. Delhi won't be leaving.
And then outside of that, there's Godfrey, maybe, Keane, neither of them will go.
Neither of them will go. Everton could bring a centre back in by Friday, maybe. I still wouldn't expect either Keane or Godfrey to go.
Damari Gray as well, isn't it?
Gray's a difficult one because obviously
he's got his own thing going on anyway.
He's trying to get that sorted. Hopefully he can get it sorted. We don't want him. He doesn't want to be here. So it's better for everyone if he moves on. Alex Iwobi, I really don't know with Iwobi. If Fulham pay, Everton have said 20 million they want for him. There's not a chance Everton are getting £20 million for Alex Iwobi with 10 months left on a contract. 15 maybe. Someone may well try that Friday. Crystal Palace or Fulham or someone like that. May well. I've seen him linked with West Ham as well. I don't know whether Moyes would come. He's got Kudus, haven't he? They don't really need another one.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
Here's a question for you, and
go on.
People in the comments can give the thoughts as well. Say Iwobi does go, and that does leave a little bit of a vacuum in terms of creativity and that sort of type of midfielder. Is there a future for Andre Gomes to maybe come into this Everton team and maybe play slightly more advanced and maybe be that player?
No.
Short and simple.
Simple. It's too slow. Too slow, the injuries.
I'm not advocating.
No.
This,
And he doesn't. Don't forget, Andre Gomes. I think he's still only ever scored 1 goal for Everton, and that was against Wolves when he was on loan. He never scored a goal.
Good finish.
It was a tremendous goal.
And he forgot how to do it.
Tremendous goal. When he was at Valencia, he picked the ball up and charged into the box and go by players and add goals. It's gone. It's gone. There was a time when he was a lovely footballer, like worked in our midfield with Ghana in the first spell.
He was very press resistant as well, wasn't he? He was very delicate on the ball and had quite an intelligent touch.
Yeah.
And even though I don't think his Everton numbers have ever been particularly great,
No.
but there was a point when he first joined where you could see, okay, like he's not making, like brilliant like 40-yard passes or making moves or anything, but he'd always seem to pick the right man when he would have the ball. He just seemed to do the right thing.
When he was on loan, he was really good under Silva. Like I say, when he had Ghana, I remember him at school and Declan Rice at West Ham. We beat them 2-0 and he took the piss out of him basically all day. Couldn't get near him. Anfield, when the Pickford game, he was brilliant. I remember coming in the Monday and the lads were like, my God, that Gomes is brilliant, isn't he, in midfield? He had he missed an absolute sitter, diving header at the cup with on the line. He somehow didn't score. But he was excellent. And then obviously Ghana left. Gabam got injured and then he obviously Son done him and that was the end of it.
And it was him and Schneiderlin as well, weren't it?
Too slow and all that. But I think in a slower league he proved for Lille last year. He done quite well for Lille. I think in a just slightly slower league he's still a very good footballer. Just for the Premier League, it's just not what we need. He doesn't create anything either. I think he might have only had 2 assists, in his Everton career. 1 goal and 2 assists. And we got one against Villa at home in COVID, cross for Theo Walcott, I think, scored the header at the street end, and that was off a
one against cross. Wolves in the
and
COVID.
Maybe one against Wolves.
Put a good cross in.
And it's that day, that's been it. So no, the answer to you think.
Yeah, it's fair enough if it's the right answer.
No, I'm just thinking.
Because there was some buzz in the fan base around Gomes at the start of pre-season.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a video that went round on Twitter, a little 30-second highlight swing, and I think that got people a bit, hyped up for him. But at this stage, if no one does come in for him, do you give him any minutes in the Premier League at all? Or do you just cast him off?
No, if he stays, then obviously he's not a terrible footballer. He's still a good footballer, and sometimes I remember the game when Benitez was here, funnily enough, against Burnley. And Burnley scored. I think Ben Mee put them 1-0 up, and then we equalised straight away at Goodison. And he put Gomes on at 1-1, Benitez, and Gomes was brilliant. It freed up, and we won the game 3-1. But he was brilliant for half an hour. He got on the ball, he was strong, and he just kept everything ticking over, and he allowed us to get hold of the ball, and we, Townsend scored that worldie. We beat them 3-1. Funnily enough, went top of the league. Oh, how the tables have turned. And he was excellent. So little cameos, he can still do a decent job. But that isn't enough to keep him on 100-odd grand a week for a player that isn't. We spoke about this at lunch. A player who isn't going to get in our team. We just can't keep them, can we? So I expect he will move on. Let's see what happens, Let's see what happens. You never shone so brightly, says Sulemana or Cornet, and why? So pick one of them and tell me why.
Sulemana. His age and Cornet's injury issues. I was under the opinion Cornet was very left-sided player, but I had a look before. He's actually played almost as many games on the right as he has on the left, which surprised me. But yeah, I just think with his injury issues last season and the fact that, I don't know, for some reason, I just feel like I trust Sulemana more on the right.
Okay.
I think Cornet, whenever I've seen him for Burnley and
go on, carry on.
So sorry, I thought Ned was doing something weird and I had to look.
No, I thought he was about to ask me something.
Yeah. No, I'd prefer Sulemana.
Yeah.
The right age, not
I think
injuries.
Yeah, I went to both of them, to be honest.
Did you want Cornet as a left back though?
Yeah.
Bring him in, put him at left back.
But he did. We've said before, haven't we? Certainly we were discussing it off air before. He played 26 Premier League games for Sean. Well, Sean Dyche brought him in and got 9 goals for Burnley in a team that got relegated. And also, he played all over the place. Left back, left wing, off the front man. Probably had the game. Probably played on the right as well. It wouldn't surprise me. And he got 9 goals. But he's gone to West Ham and hasn't scored a single goal. And he played 14 games last season. And injuries, calf injury.
He's never
and
got
all
running,
that.
did he?
No. So that's why I'd struggle with him. Sulemana, 21 years of age, lightning. Scored a couple against Liverpool at the end of the season. They were his first goals, to be fair. But good dribbler, good 1v1. And that pace on the break will give us something extra as well. And like you said there, the ceiling is there to grow, isn't it? 21 years of age. Exactly the right kind of age bracket.
It's another one to the pile, isn't it, with your Onanas and your Branthwaites and Chimity as well. Just young players who are either going to be with you in a while or you can sell them for nice money.
So Scott Blunt says, I don't know much, but I know where the like button is.
To be honest, Scott. That's the only thing you need to know in life.
Exactly.
You can get through life just knowing that and you'll do better than a lot of people.
Exactly. The Blues just Delhi's only got 5 games left, hasn't he, before we have to pay for him? 7, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought
7. So play him in 6. See what he's like. If he's rubbish, don't play him in the next one. Like I've said loads of times with Delhi, is that he will only ever get a chance if he's fully fit and if Deitch looks and thinks, actually, he's all right. It's the only way. He's not... Deitch isn't a sentimental manager. Sean Dyche isn't a sentimental manager. The other two, Steve Stone and Ian Woan, I don't think they are. I think if you get in, it's because you're fit enough to play. Look what we've... Delhi ain't getting in till he's Deitch fit, is he? Let's be honest. Double Dyche fit, so... And
the financial risk as well, and he'll be being told that by the powers
that be. Oh, God, yeah.
Look, this lad could potentially cost us a lot, so, be certain.
Yeah, absolutely.
Treat it like a signing. Do you want to make this signing? Do you want to put money down on this player?
The Blues, just that Anfield game, Gomes was incredible. Yeah, absolutely, he was brilliant. He had a few good games. That year was tremendous with Ghana. It's just one of them, isn't it? It happened and we move on. I remember we were all a bit worried when West Ham were trying to get him. You know, West Ham Tina on Twitter was loving it, and Spurs were linked. And everyone
remember West Ham
Tina,
which is just absolutely an Everton fan.
Yeah, he was just winding everyone up, but it was tremendous. But not much you can do there. Not much we can do. Let's just see what happens with it all. Georgie says, who's next then? Surely Neal, Maupay and Gray are gone by Friday. I think Maupay will go. Gray's a difficult one because if he's looking at Saudi, if the Al Shabaab thing isn't happening now, then he's still got a week for another Saudi club to come in so his agent can get to it. He doesn't want to stay now. Of course he doesn't, and Everton don't want him. He's not being included.
And they're buying players in his position.
Exactly, so he's never ever going to play. And if that's the case, we want him out the door with some money, don't we? So, we'll see. Jez says, the reality of Iwobi is that he uses up a space in this team that someone can hit the back of the net. Could be using. Once McNeil and Harrison are available, I would see they take a position and people like Garner can act more creatively to feed in better balls to Beto. Iwobi is only looking good comparative to the rubbish stats others have, but he should be scoring more goals. As for our number 10, I'm not sure who that is, but they should be able to score goals. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it on Iwobi. Not his fault that other players aren't as good, but his goal scoring isn't great, but he does create a lot of chances. However, the biggest thing for me is the fact that he's got 10 months left on the deal and he isn't signing a new contract. That's the biggest indicator for me. If he had 3 years left, I'd be saying, no, don't sell him this late. Let's look at it in January, whatever. The problem is, he's only got 10 months left. The other side
of it is, if you say you could convince him to sign a new contract, is this another Michael Keane situation where we gave him a new contract after an inconsistent Everton career, but it was in a period where he was playing well, but he soon reverted back to his worst form, and then we ended up with a player that we couldn't get rid of?
It's the problem, isn't it? You do it. You see it with so many clubs. You have a player, they do all right coming towards the end of the contract, and you go, yeah, They've got to stay. They've got to stay. I think the top clubs and the ones who are very good at what they do sell them on the peak. They look and go, yeah, this is an anomaly here, or he's peaked here. Let's get them sold at this point. Whereas because of the way we've been and some of the misses we've had because we haven't made the right decision in buying players, we tend to want to keep hold of these players because we think, we can't get anything better. And a lot of times that's right because we don't. Our scouting or the way we do stuff or the data we used or whatever it may be, we've often made the wrong choice and therefore we lose a player. And instead of having another one where we've done all the data, we just think and go, he was all right in the Premier League, let's get him without looking. No way on earth did the data lead Everton to Neal Maupay. No chance on earth.
But it was the old thing about, we need a striker, we need someone who knows the league, who knows the English game, and all these cliches and all these things that a lot of football clubs have moved away from. And the teams that have moved away from them completely tend to have less studs.
Yeah. No, I know.
There's something to be said for all that, don't get me wrong, but it needs to be backed up by data as well. And like you're saying, there needs to be something to actually quantify your beliefs of what this player is going to do in your team.
Absolutely. But Garassi was the big one for me last year. That should have been the one. The lad, even though, again, don't ever condone it, but he went on, refused to train for a few days because he thought he was coming here. He was just waiting for Everton to sign off on it.
Some players really want to sign for us, don't they?
I think I'll be honest. I think they really just want to play in the Premier League. I think we're just we can. Yeah, let's say they really want to play for us. They're desperate for our club.
We had Kudus going on strike.
Kudus was fuming. Well, we had a couple last year. Garassi was one. Kudus was devastated. Kudus, had a proper gob on.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't realise how lucky he's got it. He had to play Champions League with Ajax and scored a few goals. Yeah.
Divvy could have been playing in relegation haunted games.
He could have played in the famous 1-1 at Wolves to make history. And now he's just playing for West Ham with their European football.
Divvy. Really fool in London. Mick says, with Bill being the chairman, how can anyone criticise that easy? Dead easy with the choices he made, Mick. Really easy to criticise the recruitment team. Being dead easy. Almost like shooting fish in a barrel.
They're all to blame, aren't they? There can be multiple people at fault. And
well, they are. They're all.
That's what I mean.
They're all. The recruitment team, Bill Kenwright, Farhad Moshiri, and the managers who've been in there as well. All of them. There's not a chance. It does make me smile when people think that the recruitment team bring all these exciting young players for Everton to sign, and Bill Kenwright sits there and goes, I'm not signing off on that. That is, whoever thinks that, it's mad. It's absolutely mad, because that is absolutely not what happens. They're all to blame. They've all, like I've just said before, it's been a much better window this year. Thought out planning. Okay. I still fume when we didn't get Boniface, and we could have got him. That still winds me up. We could have had Acor Adams. 4.5 million still winds me up, but they've got Beto. It's a deal that works for Everton. Looks like a good signing for us. Delighted with that. Chimiti, excellent, good young striker. Let's hope he can develop. The others have made sense. Dan Juma, Jack Harrison, good signing. Can we get the next couple over the line by Friday? Fingers crossed. And that's the way it is, isn't it?
A few faults, isn't there? The owner's mate, the recruitment team, and whoever's in charge of getting them shirts to Colombia.
Exactly, yeah. Bill says rumours of Cornet, but where would he play? Left back, right wing, striker, or is he just very adaptable? That could be a bonus, but I think I would prefer the lad at Southampton, rapid pace and dedicated right winger. Yeah, listen, Cornet does tick a few boxes, right? Absolutely he does. Is there an issue, Jack, that when you get these players and you go, he can play there, he can play there, he can play there, and he can play there, does it take it away because we are just kind of throwing them in everywhere rather than going, well, Sulemana predominantly he'll play down the right or whatever, rather than going, well, Sulemana can play up front, so he can play right back or left. Do you know what I mean? Is it, what do you think?
I get what you mean. It depends on the player themselves and how actually good they are in those positions. Like, someone might look at the fact that James Garner's now played 3 games for Everton at right wing and 2 at right back as well, and go, oh, this lad can actually play all down the right side as well. He can't. He's been played there, but he can't actually play, especially on the right wing. You can judge players individually and look at how good they are in those roles and go, okay, can you actually play there? Or as a manager thought, right, you're the best I've got to play this position, but I need you to. You're my most circle peg, even though you're still a square. Do you know what I mean? You can almost fit into this round hole. Like, not quite, but you're the closest to it. So I think in those situations, you've got to look at the players individually. There are players, and I think Cornet is probably one of them, not judging off the last year, of course, but looking through his career as a whole, where you can go, okay, there are 3 positions you're good in and you play well in. There's other players. Gylfi Sigurdsson, through his career, probably played a handy amount of games on the left wing. Awful left winger. So it just comes to looking at the players individually. I think there are a lot of players where, if you looked through their game stats, they've played in all these positions, but have they actually played well there?
Well, he was just saying, Sulemana's not a predominant right winger. He's played 42 times on the left wing, scored 14 goals. He's played 16 times as a centre forward and scored 4 goals, and he's played 10 times as a right winger and scored 2 goals. His assists have been 4 off the left wing, 5 as a centre forward, and 4 off the right wing. So again, he's another one who predominantly plays off the left, but he can play on the right hand side as well. So again, Everton only seem to know left wingers, don't they?
Yeah, it feels like there's a real lack of actual
right wingers.
I think it depends what they're specifically looking for. But okay, we need a left footer. Are the majority of left-footed wingers in football at the moment, or like playing naturally on the left? There's got to be some players out there that are natural fits on the right wing that fit the criteria of what Everton wants from a right winger.
We don't seem to be able to find them, do we? Others seem exactly the same as well. Seem to struggle with certain players in certain positions, don't they? I mean, he is right-footed, Sulemana. So make of that what you will. Playing off the left, cutting in. Do we want someone who goes on the outside down the right, or do we want someone like Jack Harrison who cuts in onto that left foot? But again, it's another one, isn't it? Like we said before with Jack Harrison, you know, he's played more games off the left than he has off the right. I think it's like 40 games difference, but he still played 94, 95 games on the right hand side. And if you ratio the goals per position, they're very similar. So he scores as many off the right as he does off the left.
Well, he's quite two-footed as well, isn't he? So he can play the same way.
You're going to get that, yeah.
We looked at Sinistera before, didn't we? And he's left-footed. Playing on the left wing, he had a lot more assists. Yeah. As he's left-footed, he's putting more crosses in, getting them assists. On the right wing, I think his goals to games was slightly better. I'd suggest he's cutting inside more on his left foot. Whereas Jack Harrison, two-footed, he can sort of cut inside on both sides, can't he? He's still a goal threat on both sides. So
I think anybody who comes into this side and who's quick, who comes into the squad, Sulemana would. I want Bakayoko, right? But I'm told that's the least likely out of the 3 or 4 wide men we're looking at, right? Fine. You know, disappointing, but fine. You know? So therefore, if you look at what the other 3 bring, Nonso is a difficult one to do. Leeds clearly don't want to sell the lad. The lad wants to join Everton. Leeds clearly don't want to sell him. So that one is a difficult one as well. So then you're left with Sinistera and you're left with Sulemana, and now Maxwell Cornet is coming to the equation as well. Sinistera is an easier deal to get done, I think, because there's a clause. So therefore, apparently, so they say there's a clause.
I seen something saying the clause had expired the other day. That I'm not too sure.
Well, that may be, but
true.
I just, from what I'm being told, that's the easier deal
right.
to do.
That's quite straightforward.
It's straightforward, right? Whether they've got an agreement with them, a loose agreement with them, that if the Premier League club comes in with X amount of money, they'll sell them. I don't know. This is just what is going around. Cornet's versatile. Okay, I could see that. And Sulemana, we've just discussed, can play, predominantly plays off the left, but can play off the right. But the one thing, if you're looking across those players, Sulemana's got something better than the other three in that he's lightning. Now, Nonso's not slow, but like we've just discussed, he's difficult to get over the line. Sinisterra, I like him at Feyenoord. I like him at Leeds. I think he's decent. But Sulemana is lightning. And therefore, if you're looking and saying, well, we want to bring someone else into this environment now that gives us like an X factor that the others don't have, it would be Sulemana, wouldn't it, in terms of that pace? And maybe that's why Everton are attracted to him and going, can we get him? Now, Southampton, 30 million is being bandied around. That, to me, is eye-watering for us. If he'd have got like 9 goals for Southampton in half a year, he come in January, didn't he?
Yeah.
So if he'd have got like 5 goals, 6 goals, you'd go, well, he could easily. Now he could, but he only scored on the last day. That was the first goals for against Liverpool in the 4-4. Got 2 goals that day. But he has got that pace. But is he worth 30 million? It's a big outlay.
You can't just put 30 million on just pace, can you? You need some shot. Just looking at it, Sinisterra there, the conflicting stuff on if he's got a clause or not. People seem unsure. They've seen in Leeds Journal, it said he has no release clause and Leeds would want 40 million for him if he was to go. But yeah, it seems people don't seem to know it's conflicting.
Yeah, of course. And Leeds, obviously, for them, they want to try and get back up into the Premier League. So if he's not on, if they feel like they can carry his wages, this was the thing with Nonso. Nonso apparently is only on like 5-6 grand a week, allegedly. So Leeds can carry that in the Championship. It's not an issue for them. That's why it's easy for them to play hardball. Where if he'd have been on 50 grand a week, they'd have probably gone, if we don't get up, then we may as well sell him. He wants to go, bloody rubber. It's easy because it's
a standard Championship wage, isn't it?
Yeah.
His Sinisterra is probably on a little bit more.
Yeah, I imagine he's on 20. But if they feel like they can carry that, then it's fine, isn't it? So,
Leeds have offloaded a lot of wage budget as well. They had a lot of players go out on loan.
Like Tyler Adams has left and people like that, haven't
Aronson, players like that.
So, well, Jack Harrison was one who was on bigger wages, so they couldn't keep him. And he had a thing as well, didn't he? So we will see. We'll see what happens with him. Yeah, done that. Jez says, also this window does have the feeling of a plan coming together. I imagine Thelwell has finally been allowed to pull the strings and Mashiri has told Euroban to do one. But it's looking decent, so fingers crossed. They've done well, so I keep saying it. They've done well. Let's hope they can get the other 2 over the line that they're after, and that'd be, I think everyone would have to say, tell you what, considering our finances are tight, we've had a good window here. Let's see. It's going well so far, absolutely. Pity this wasn't 3 weeks ago, though, and we had these players in before the season kicked off, but we are where we are. Bill says we need a right winger, a midfielder and a centre-back. I can't see us getting 3, mate. 2 maybe.
If Iwobi goes, maybe that frees up a few more funds to maybe look at. You've still got 2 loan slots as well, don't forget.
Well, we've been linked with Alzate at Brighton, who Everton like. Nice footballer. But I'd say that was dependent on Gray and Iwobi leaving before Friday. Will that happen? Not convinced, but we'll see. Dave O'Leary. Is it that David O'Leary? The Leeds manager? You're too young. Says, wish me luck. I'm infiltrating the home fans tonight as Donny's very local to me, but I'll be supporting the Blues. Just be careful, Dave.
Yeah, stay safe.
Just be careful. Be careful. Benjamin James says, Jack, I love that Ajax shirt. Gonna buy one. Bob always gives love. Hopefully we will tonight.
The black Ajax, the Bob Marley one.
Yeah.
Wore that a few weeks ago.
Did you?
Oh, yeah, it's a classic top, that. It's not a classic because it came out a couple of years ago, but it's a lovely top. Get yourself one.
Richard says, getting ready to go to game tonight. The first one since COVID. Wow. I missed the boat for an away ticket, so I'm going with a Donny supporting mate of mine. Wish me luck. I should say, don't say this before. Well, I'm not even reading them out. Because he's a curse. Have a good time, and hopefully you break the curse tonight. Paul Robinson of Neighbours, don't I give you're too young again. Feel good. Says, put a strong side out tonight, get a good lead, take the 13 players off, and then calmly see the game out. Business-like. That would be nice, wouldn't it? To do a business-like performance.
Business-like, a John Blaine-like performance.
That's
almost.
it, yes. Absolutely. I'll plan the dive the plan.
Yeah, change the people or change the people.
Well, that's it, isn't it?
Just throw loads of cliches and sayings at them and stuff.
See what they say.
Confuse them and then just run past them.
That's it. And then get Tyler on Younger one for like the last 20.
For the last 2 minutes.
Yeah. Well, it will. Chris Davies says, all right, lads, what do you think of our cover for Jordan Pickford? I think it's pretty weak.
I think Virginia's suitable. You can get a better second choice, but when you are potentially cash strapped and you're looking to save wages, what was Begovic? 30 grand a week more. The 40, 50. It's a lot of money to put on a player who's not gonna play. Virginia, is he Premier League quality goalkeeper? Probably not, but he's probably a serviceable Championship standards. If you're the bottom half team, you can probably spend the money better elsewhere. If you're in a lot of competitions and you're in Champions League, you're in both cups.
Yeah.
It's good to have solid cover. But when you're probably not expecting to go that far in the cups, we'd all love to. But you've got to look at our ability. And we're not in Europe as well. You can save the money, can't you? And
it's difficult, isn't it? It is difficult having. It's difficult having goalies like that you look at and go, there's no real drop off. We've got England's number one, so we'd have to have a good goalie to have no drop off. So there's always going to be a bit of a drop off. Begovic was a decent number two. Some games he didn't. I mean, Arsenal away last with Lampard when we got beat 5-1. I think every goal went through him. Like he did turn a little bit into a hologram at times. Probably just with not playing games, it's a difficult thing. But he also had some good performances. I can think of Newcastle at home. He was very calm. Last year it was West Ham at home. We beat them 1-0. Another clean sheet. Very calm, commanding performance. But it's difficult to find those goalies. He left because he wanted to play, and he's QPR's number one, isn't he now? So that's why. Lonergan's obviously there just as a coach. So João Virginia's played. He's played in Everton's first team before. He played against Man City in the FA Cup. Come on against Burnley, I think it was. Pickford got injured a few years ago when McNeil scored that goal. He played a couple of games there.
He's had a couple of loans
as well. He's at Canberra and things. Is he Sporting Lisbon? He played a few games. Is he amazing? No, but he done all right pre-season. And what could we do? We'd have to go and get. Again, you're just scraping around looking for a goalie who's 35, 36, who just wants to sit on the bench. And again, like you just said, Jack, for budget-wise, it's not great, is it? For, if you can get one that's 35 and he'll come for 20 grand a week, but it's still 20 grand a week. They pay him. We've just been talking about Wilfred Nonto, who played in Leeds first team. He's on 5 or 6 grand a week, and we're saying 20, 25 grand a week for a goalkeeper who doesn't play.
And what the Premier League standard goalkeeper is going to come to a team that are barely Premier League standard and not play.
But I think you're being a bit harsh. Barely Premier League standard.
We've just about stayed up last 2 seasons.
One season, Jack. We're quite clearly Premier League standard.
No,
you've only ever played in the Premier League.
I mean, on our current ability in this team,
I think it's just difficult, isn't it, to get a goalkeeper without buying an up and coming one and going. You're basically replacing Pickford.
Yeah, you'll be number one in a couple of years. It's different
Without
if you're
that,
Man United,
Yeah.
and you know you
But look at them. And we did try to get Tom Heaton. But it would have been the least surprising signing of the summer. But we tried to get Tom Heaton and they wouldn't let him go. Henderson. We couldn't have got someone like Dean Henderson. Palace just bought him for 20 million. You know, David De Gea is kicking his feet somewhere, though, isn't he?
Yeah, I think David De Gea is another one. You'd probably like a decent wedge of money if you look at what he was.
Yeah, I can't see him coming and being sub for Everton for 25 grand a week when he was on 350 grand a week.
He'll go somewhere nice with warm weather.
I imagine.
A nice club and some nice money.
Yeah, I think so. Evan Viking says, I liked Schmitty's movements. With his size and his pace, we could have something there. Because if a player's movement at 19 is there's a very good sign of football intelligence. Not going overboard, though, as a kid. But I always like to look at that, as you'll know. Movement is key. Yeah, it absolutely is key. I've seen, again, you can't go overboard. It wasn't like he come on and went round 4 men and scored 2 goals. But I've seen enough on Saturday. He just looked like, he didn't look like a kid coming into a game, if that makes sense. He looked like he was experienced coming on the pitch. He's only 19. So it's up to him. Listen, he's got to develop, he's got to learn. But I did like, he knocked a couple of them about. He got booked for shoving thingy on the floor, shoulder barging him into the advertising board at the end, didn't he? And so he's got that little bit about him. Now, can he be calm enough? Can he work hard enough and press? If he does, he's got a chance, the kid. He's got the physical attributes.
Yeah, no, and I think he might honestly be a future Ballon d'Or winner.
Oh,
no, I'm joking.
If we haven't won the Premier League with him in 3 years, there's something wrong.
I'm joking, but you are right. It's good to see. Obviously, you don't want to overrate them, but it's something that a player can do that's good and something they're going to be able to develop in. And they've already got something other than, he's a big lad, and it'd be easy for him to just be, I'm a big lad, so I'm always going to be a big striker, so I can win enders. It's good to see something about his game that shows a bit of intellect.
Yeah, European strikers as well are never going to be just whack it up to me and I'll flick it on. It's not really what they do, is it? He's a runner with them. We've seen it. His fellow countryman, Beto's not a just bang it up and I'll flick headers on. He turns and picks the ball and runs with it. Great that they've got that option. But, and I think and to be honest, I think that's really good as well. That he's getting an older version of him coming into the club who's, again, the similar framework. Both Portuguese. Go on, Ned. It looks like you want to speak.
Sky Cava.
Oh, yeah.
Norwich have bid 7 million for
Tom Cannon.
Correct. Would you take? I'd snap your hand off for that.
No, not. I think seven's too little. Really? I'll be honest.
We could loan him to Norwich.
I'd take a risk and say that's probably the best you're going to get for him.
I don't think
I don't know. I think Birmingham and Middlesbrough and Sunderland are all after him.
This summer, you think you'll get more than 7 million?
I don't. We spoke at lunchtime, didn't we? We spoke at lunchtime about the possibility of Everton loaning him because, like Jack said, his value is gonna go north. I think he'll score if he goes on loan. I think Tom Cannon gets easily 15 goals in the Championship this season, if not more.
What was his goals to game on the half season? It was like about 1 in 3.
I think he got 7,
How much did we get 18? For Sims?
We got 8 million. No, we got 6.5 rising, didn't we, for Sims?
How many did he have 8 left on his contract? A couple of years.
A year, I think, didn't he?
But I just think with Cannon, if he goes and gets between 15 and 20 goals in the Championship, we see those type of strikers go for 15 million or more. Gyökeres.
Solanke and Brewster.
And if he has a year where he doesn't do that well, you're still going to get a couple of million for him.
He was only 20 in December. He got Preston. He got 8 in 21 for Preston, and they weren't starts. He was sub about 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, so that's
he's got better than 1 in 3.
Much better.
And he had 1 assist for a lad that is developing his game. Just turned 20, went there. I think he can get easily get 15 goals in the Championship, if not more.
Double his game time.
Double the game. But if you just worked on them numbers, then he'll end up with 42 games and he'll have 16 goals. I think he'll do better than that. Playing every week fit. And therefore, if he gets 15 to 16 goals, that's 21. that automatically becomes 16 million, at least 15 million, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the thing is, even if, say, he goes away on loan and has a bad year, I think you'd still get 2 million for him.
You get more, mate.
Yeah, I'm thinking, you know, the lowest number, say it is 2 million, that's the worst.
If we tried to buy a striker out the Championship, regardless of what he does,
If it's a Championship club buying him,
5 million.
I think, yeah, it's all right then. Even say it's 5 million. I was trying to go for
No,
lower than
Villa
realistic
have
number.
just sold Cameron Hart, yeah. Right? I'm not saying Cannon's better than him. I'm just saying Villa have just sold Cameron Hart to Sheffield United for 18 million. The lad's not played. He come on against us. That's it. He never scored a Premier League goal and all of that.
What were his
18
goals
million.
like in the Championship when he was on loan?
He done all right at Borough, but I can have a look now. He done okay at Borough, but I don't think he was amazing. I just think Tom Cannon is. I think his numbers will go. His price will go north.
I think it
like
definitely will. I'm just saying, even if he did do bad and even if he did end up getting 4 million for him, that 3 million drop off from what we're being quoted now is worth the risk of doubling our money. I really do.
What would it take
to sell him.
no, for you to sell Dobbin? Because he's the one who's obviously getting more of a go. I know he's a winger.
but it's about his
Position now, isn't it?
And
If McNeil and Harrison were fit, he wouldn't be playing. would he?
Yeah. No, I get that.
Cameron
Got
Hart,
3
he got.
injuries, the wing
He's had.
players.
Yeah, Cameron Hart has been on loan at Preston and got 7 in 20, and then went on loan at Borough last year and got 11 in 20. So he's 1 and 2 in the Championship, and he's just gone for 18 million.
So if you can get Tom Cannon in the region of 20 goals, I
So
think he's at
15 million
least
quid.
15. I'd be 1 and 20 to be honest.
So it's up. I get what you're saying there. It's 7 million right now, and that gives Everton some room for a down payment on someone as well.
And if, say, we're trying to
difficult
get
one.
Bakayoko done and he wants to move, he'll come. And that ball, we're 5 million off. We don't have that 5 million. Maybe that you do it, but
Absolutely.
I'd
Lewis Dobbin,
like to loan him
again.
out.
What would we get? 4 or 5 million for Dobbin?
yeah.
No one's really banging the door down for Lewis Dobbin, are they? Lewis Dobbin's next. Don't get me wrong. I think he'd probably play tonight, and I think he'd probably do. Well, he should do. Really, if he plays for Everton tonight, he should destroy these tonight.
Well,
he should do.
He's just done League One.
He's done League One and done
there.
all right, but I believe he was like that in League. My mate's a Derby season ticket holder. Said some weeks looked tremendous, other weeks was woeful. So he's got to find a level of consistency. He's looked bright for Everton pre-season. Hasn't scored a goal. He hasn't got assists in the way you'd want him to.
But he's
so he's
looked
got to
sharp,
do well,
hasn't
but
he?
he's looked sharp. He's done all right Saturday.
I think his ability's good, but his decision making, like, he's trying to second a player who's just well too
He's
fast
a
for
young
him
lad,
on
isn't he?
Saturday.
He's going to learn all that.
Yeah, what he done wrong on
that's
Saturday.
maturity, decision making.
What he done wrong on Saturday was he took an extra touch. And in the Premier League, you've got to be sharp. So he'd often face the lad up and he'd drop the shoulder, and that's when it should come across. And then he'd wait, take another touch, and then they just block him. You've got to be able to pop it off and move. He's nice and bright. We've seen him in the Premier League when he was 17.
The small differences with play like that with players like Iwobi. That's why Iwobi can play midfield, because his first touch will be taking him either inside or on the outside. Dobbin wants that extra touch.
It's just got it. But that again, though, the caveat to that is it comes with experience.
Yeah.
It comes with take a touch, play it in. All Dobbin should be doing is like any wide player, is do your bit. Say when coaching kids, do your bit. Commit the lad and get it across. You've done your bit. If the people in the middle aren't getting on the end of your delivery, it's nothing to do with you. You're doing your bit. Do you know what I mean? It's that quick. And those players who simplify it at that level, get half a yard and it's across, they're the ones who end up with the 10 assists. And they're the ones people are going, well, he's a good player, isn't he? Or we've got to stop him or whatever. Then defenders then start getting worried when you pick the ball up. But if you're someone who faces the defender up and thinks you can just knock it past them all the time and you're going to get round you, defenders will just go on then. And then they'll just take a step to the right and block you off. Experienced defenders will just cut your... You watch them. Inexperienced defenders run in a straight line. Right? Experienced defenders run at an angle. So you're going... They just run into where you're going. Just watch it so many times. They do it. young lads often when defending run in straight lines, and that's what he's doing. He's running in straight lines where good top players will manoeuvre the ball as well. You watch Messi, again, I'm talking about the greatest ever, but I say to Zach loads of times, not because he can be like Messi, but I'm saying, watch the way Messi manipulates the ball. He just angles the ball all the time. So it's difficult. You don't know how to tackle him because he doesn't move in a straight line. He's got the ball. Messi, he'll walk with it half the time. He always keeps his body away from the ball.
He keeps his body opened up constantly so he can either pass it or cut across the other way.
Ball. And when you're dribbling and you can shift the ball that way and that way, defenders end up, try your slalom, because defenders end up throwing and you're away.
So that's what was frustrating with McNeil for ages. But the good thing about McNeil is people will just show him onto...
You've gone to McNeil because Ped calls him McMessi now, because I was talking about Messi and you've gone to McNeil.
Oh, McMessi. Well, I was going to say, when he was McNeil, it was frustrating, but then he became McMessi. He was just doing the same thing straight down the line.
No, he's not being
people would just show him onto his left foot, and he'd just be knocking it into defenders constantly, but then eventually he starts throwing so many crosses in that eventually people start getting on the end of them and he ends up with a few assists. Yeah. And it might take 30 crosses to get a few assists, but it's better than having 10 crosses.
If you're putting balls into dangerous areas, people are scoring goals because people can start gambling. Liverpool, I've said this before about Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson. A watch day. No, Ped always gives me stick for it, but sometimes at Christmas when you're off and they have the university lectures on, we've never seen them, they're on for like half an hour and the lectures from the university, but they're on things that are like, this is how, and he'll show like experiments. It's only on for half an hour. Right?
I didn't go to my own university lectures.
No, I know about the ones where they got fullbacks who just put a ball into an area.
So basically, on one of these, they had one of Liverpool's technical staff on.
Yeah.
Right, talking about XG, right, and talking about areas, and basically he said they worked out through maths. It was one of the maths lectures for half an hour, but they had the part of it was on football, and he said we've worked out with maths that if Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson put it in this zone, we score 80% of the time. So they've been trained and encouraged to not look up, to just aim for that zone. And we make sure we get people in the middle of it. And they had all of the experiments. They were showing all the things, where it goes, the ball, goal. And he was like, the fella's like, oh, and you use maths? Yeah, well, that's just the way it is. And a lot of teams are doing it, blah, 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 blah. It's dead simple. It's been getting said since football began. It mightn't have been with maths. That's just a great way to go, look, these are the statistics. Put the ball into that zone. If I'm a centre forward and you're wide and I know you're someone who just crosses it in, I'm just making the run. I don't have to stop and go, what's Jack doing now? Is he turning back? And is he, you just get down and throw it across. I'm there. Goal.
Get it in the mixer, as they used to say.
Well, in the mixer, but put it in the out corridor of uncertainty.
Yeah.
But if you put it in a certain area, so you go, when Jack if you watch Liverpool when Trent Alexander-Arnold gets it, their players just get into that zone. It comes in, and people go, "What a ball!" He's just hitting the target.
But even then, they're just like, you could whip a ball with pace that goes nowhere near your forward. But if you're as a defender, if someone floats a ball in and you can properly read it and get out to it, get your head on it. If someone whips it in low and fast, that can come to you. Defenders aren't the greatest footballers, so their first touch, the ball controller might bounce off him. And who's normally the quickest to react to those loose balls?
Not strikers. I mean, this is why we nearly scored at the weekend, isn't it? James Garner put a good ball in. A lot of Dominic Calvert-Lewin's goals were just him reacting to the... Well, yeah, well, there you go. James Rodriguez throw it across, get it. Luca Dean putting it into zone.
They'd whip it, wouldn't they?
And that's it. And that's... So if Lewis Dobbin, which is the original point, back to Dobbin, if he just works on that, get wide, put it into them zones quickly, Everton will score from it and he'll go up another level. So yeah. I wouldn't be looking to sell him either at the moment.
No, he's another player who can still develop his game and become more valuable, isn't he? So he can still hit new heights. He's only played in League One properly. That's the only league he's had consistent game time in. So, he's got the ability to go higher. So, let's progress him. Let's let him develop as a player, and then there's more money to be made.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. It's people often sometimes I think people do over complicate what is basic stuff really, But yeah, 7 million. I think it should be more. I think.
We've got Steve Kelly, if you want to.
Oh, okay, good. We've actually got a call. Let me just find out where I've put this mic, because I can't find it. There it is. It's gone missing. Okay, let's go. Steve, are you there?
Hello, boys. How are we?
All
Right,
right,
Steve.
Steve. All good, mate. How are you?
I'll give you a call because you're obviously not doing anything tonight, are you? So
Just chilling, mate. Just chilling. Ned's not put anyone through, so.
Just chilling with what Eric Dyer and Rob Holden signed on Friday.
You're excited for Rob Holt. You've said that for a while. That's the one you want Everton to. I know. Just turn him up a little bit, Ned. He's a little bit quiet. I know that's the one you want, Steve, more than anyone, Rob Holden.
Yeah, definitely. But the reason I've called is 2 points. Do you think there's a way that Sean Dyche may play Dominic Calvert-Lewin and better in the same starting lineup?
Ooh, the old Bruce brothers.
The old 4-4.
4-4.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely an option, isn't it? Because it's something Dyche has done before at Burnley. He's had 2 up front. There's many ways to play that. You can go 3 at the back and have your 2 strikers in the old 3-5-2 or the 3-4-1-2. You can play. Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not?
What we've just been talking about as well in terms of aiming crosses into a specific area of the box as well. If you can set the team up to just work heavily on aiming balls into that area of the box, having 2 big men, 2 players who are both good in the air. Calvert-Lewin, who's a bit more of a poacher, and Beta, who's absolutely massive. You could have some success in that. Maybe it's not we don't start every game with the 2 of them up top, but having the option to go both of them, flood the wings, attack the wide areas and get early crosses in.
Yeah.
There's ways to, improve your chances of scoring a goal, isn't there? Just, back to basics. Not route 1 as such, but just, fly down the wing, quick ball into the box. You've got 2 players to aim for.
Because what I've seen with Messi, he likes getting the ball and he's very direct, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's not one of those he's not just going to be one of these strikers. He just won't put in the box. So he seems like he's got a bit about him. He can put himself about a lot more than probably Dom is, where Dom is probably a penalty box striker now, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're looking at if you've ever watched Beto, he is a runner with the ball. He does like to pick it and carry it, and his long strides give him that turn of pace, which is good. And he loves that receive it and then go again, stop and go again, and it's defenders, it catches them out because he's big and strong. So yeah, I think there might definitely be times when he plays 4-4-2. Don't forget, Carlo played 4-4-2 quite a bit with the Charlison and Dom.
Charlison and Dom.
So it's as long as you get the midfield 2 right, and there's lots of ways to do it as well. Actually, the 4-4-2, if your left back isn't overly committing, then your right back can push right up. So it doesn't always make it a 4-4-2, if that makes sense. A lot of times it'll revert to 3, which is what Carlo liked to do. If he played 4-4-2, it was Coleman or Dean, but whoever went up, the other one dropped in and tucked in as a 3rd centre-back, so you were never caught out. So there is ways to do it.
Got the option of having a striker drift wides as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Beto... I was just going to say, like Jack said, Beto... often drifts over onto the left. There's something about the left-hand side they all love, but he often drifts over and picks the ball up off the left as well. So why not, mate? Why not?
No, exactly. And like you said there about the 3rd centre-back, that's probably where maybe Mikalenko would come back in the team to play that left-sided, I suppose, as the 3rd centre-back, like Coleman did when he went to the right-sided centre-back.
And especially, Steve, you've got someone like Dwight McNeil or, say, a Jack Harrison on that left as well, because they are going to give you, as well as the left foot, they're going to give you that width as well. And they're also hard working, so they tuck back in for you and work as well. So what it does, it opens up the options for the manager, doesn't it? If you've got 2 strikers who are bruisers in that way, that they're both big, the defenders they're up against know they're in for a tough afternoon. As long as you plug in the gaps with hard working players, then it can happen. Listen, it's probably not something you're going to use every single week. But for some games, why not?
I think someone is like Arsenal next week, isn't it? Is Arsenal at home next Saturday? Sorry, not
After the break. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be the type of game. I think a 4-4-2 against Arsenal might not be the worst thing, but you'd have to probably, like you said, be the structure of the midfield. You'd have to get right. You'd probably have to play two holders, probably like a Ghana and an Onana, maybe.
Yeah.
Or where you they would probably maybe come off the bench type of player. But,
yeah. No, I think you're right, yeah. And get up and at them.
It's also something you can do against a team that play quite deep as well. And, try and play out from the back and their position quite deep, as then you can force them to go longer and probably give the ball away as well. If you can press their back line more with two strikers, make it difficult for both their centre-backs to pick up the ball, you could force them to go longer than they'd like to.
Absolutely. And you can also, if you really wanted to, you can also make your midfield a little bit lopsided. And what I mean by that is, he's done it already, hasn't he? He's done it without having a striker because James Garner's played on the right, who isn't really on the right. But we saw Carlo do this with James, where Decore was filling in on the right-hand side as well. And again, you can do that. You can have three. You can have one with natural width, if that's McNeil, Harrison, Danjuma. And the others could be three central, but one looks after the right-hand side. So you are a little bit lopsided, but you've got two men to hit. And then that enables Patterson to come on the right-hand side. So you're never caught out structurally. There's lots of, again, there's lots of different ways that we can do it. We're not a good enough team right now to go, well, we play this way and it always works, because nothing's working at the moment. So any suggestion is open, isn't it?
Did you notice that on Saturday about where Corey was at times on the right side of the midfield? Yeah,
I was saying that Garner was playing inside and Decore was on the right. It was weird. It was dead weird.
It was like when we were doing the press run when they had like goal kicks and I don't know. It seemed like Decore was starting up in the right and Garner was in the middle.
Yeah,
times.
Yeah. It was.
Maybe that was the perception for Nathan Patterson.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
I think they were worried about Nori, weren't they? They were worried on that side, not Nori, because Hwang was over on that side.
Yeah.
Decore was coming to try and win the first header because Garner doesn't win the headers, and he was tucked right inside, particularly in the first half. I don't know whether they tweaked it. Yeah, Garner went back out to the right.
I actually thought it worked first half. I thought it was the right thing to do, and then second half it completely bombed it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just one more one just before you go. Just about you mentioned there about Lewis Dobbin. Obviously, this is more if we bring another winger in, but do you think maybe he might get like a late?
Dobbin, if Everton bring. Sorry, Steve, we just threw the frog on because you're on the bayou, a bit like Dex. Yeah, possibly. I think if we bring another winger in, would you see Dobbin go out on loan, or do you think the manager will keep him around the squad?
Yeah, I think if we bring another winger in, you've got Harrison ahead of him, McNeil ahead of him, another winger as well, Danjuma. At that point, you've got four wingers ahead of him. He needs his game times. He's not Premier League ready yet. You wouldn't expect him to be. He's only played in League One. I think Dice obviously likes Dobbin, and he's one he'll definitely keep an eye on if he does go out on loan. But yeah, I don't think it'd be beneficial to him to play 20 minutes every 5 games for us, Dobbin. I think there's a good player in Dobbin, and he can be a good player for us or elsewhere we can sell him on. But to do that, he needs game experience, everything we've just been saying then about his dribbling. But he needs to learn more to his game, more ways to take a player on. He'll only do that through match experience at a decent level.
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah, I think like a championship, maybe like a lower end championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely, mate. Again, and this, I think Everton will want this sorted. So I'm sure James Vaughan is having these conversations with, and it's up to him. I imagine he'll play tonight at Doncaster. He puts a strong performance in tonight, then that might make a couple of championship clubs sit up and go, you know what, he's something we could do with. But that depends on whether Everton get another winger over the line, but I'm sure they will. Or I'm sure they're gonna try hard to get another one in. And then we take it from there, yeah.
Have we lost
Steve? Yeah, is Steve gone?
He riveted.
Yeah, okay.
Nice
Steve
one,
was
Steve.
on the Bayou there, taking up Degsy's spot on the Bayou. Let's have a look at this. Baz in the Bath. What a name. The link is there, mate. Just see the link just underneath the title. Just click on that link and Ned will sort it out. Put your name in the comments in the room, and you get the waiting room. Tim says, as you said earlier, Baz, I could also see Dwight McNeil playing centrally in an attacking midfield role. Can pick a pass and take shots from long range. Steve P says, Baz wouldn't be against Sulemana because he does have genuine pace, but I simply don't believe there's a way we can be paying 30 million for him. Better players for less around the same age. If that's what Leeds were wanting for Nonto, then it wouldn't even be a debate between those two, because Nonto has a much higher ceiling and sell-on value and would be on half the wages, although it'd obviously be more difficult. Sinistera is right-footed. Yeah, we said that, haven't we?
I don't think we'd pay 30 million for Sulemana.
No.
If we were to buy him. I think, you know, if he was probably given that release clause with the hope of we'll stay in the Premier League and this will put someone off buying him. Whereas, you know, now the Championship club, and they've made good sales anyway, so you probably don't need the money. But, you know, it's probably room to work with there, especially if the players, he's not been playing for them, Sulemana. So maybe they'd accept 20.
Maybe,
you know, Beto had a 30 million release clause.
How much did he go for? Sulemana was it 50? They probably want at least the money back, wouldn't he?
No.
That's what you've got to look at. Collins says, I'd love Sulemana, be a great replacement for Gray. We really need more direct players. Too many play sideways rather. That might be under instruction. Directness is what we need. Nonso is direct, but don't think Leeds will let him go. What do you think when everyone's fit? What do you think the formation and players will be? It's a tough one to say, Col, because we haven't had them all fit yet, so we don't know what Dyche would do. He's never really had. The one thing I will say in his defence is he's never really had everyone available where he's been able to make a choice. A lot of what he's had to do has been out of necessity, hasn't he? When all the wingers are fit and his forwards are fit, it's an interesting one, isn't it? To see what he does, whether he plays 4-3-3 or 4-4-1-1.
Yeah. Just before we get on to that,
Yeah.
25 million. Sulemana.
Yeah,
So
they're going to want at least
the money
25
back.
million, aren't they?
So maybe they will stick to the guns.
And
on
we
that
were
price.
happy to pay 25 million for him in January, apparently. So.
Yeah, has he done enough to warrant an increase though, and probably, you know, bigger wages than we might have offered him? I don't know.
We'll see, won't
It's
we?
one we'll have to work on.
Bainey says, afternoon guys, not been able to comment for a while, but content wise there's no way I'm giving up my Premier accounts. As for Everton, have they even announced Holgate leaving? Yeah, they have. The only article I saw was Southampton. If I'm wrong, then okay, but communication is still a big issue. Transfer window has improved. Very happy with Beto. As for Delafeu, fair play to the guy. Still think now a fully fit squad will give a gain to most teams. Our 2 home games have been so frustrating considering the powers that be have known this for 2 years. Would have loved to have been in the room and someone said, I've got the answer, Maupay. No disrespect to the lad, but who and with what information was he signed? To let 2 centre-halves leave who were important to us is nothing short of incompetence.
Yeah, they did announce Holgate on
Yeah,
Twitter.
no, they did. They just said he's left to join Southampton on loan. Where are we? The Everton Viking says, gonna go against the grain, but I actually think when all of our wide players are fit, McNeil becomes a squad player. A fully fit Dan Juma and Harrison are both actually better players all round. I know everyone's made up with him from last season, but he's still actually quite limited due to him only being able to use his left foot. I think the issue with that would be his goals. He weighed in with key goals, didn't he? And that's why I'm saying he may well end up in the middle as an attacking midfield player as well. But listen, it's good to have that conversation, isn't it? It's good to be able to go, should Dwight McNeil play, or should it be Dan Juma, or should it be Jack Harrison, or should it be Willie Nonto or Sulemana? You know what I mean? It's good to have that. Other clubs have that. Good clubs have all of those problems where they're going, God, how's he not getting in? Or, I mean, look at Villa against us. They're bringing on bloody Tielemans, you know, and Coutinho. whatever you think, Coutinho's still a talented footballer, but Suleman's just brilliant, isn't he? You're looking at that, you're seeing other clubs making subs. Wolves at the weekend making subs to win the game. Again, it's injuries have dictated this, but we've not had the opportunity to make subs to win a game. Imagine being an hour in or 70 minutes in and you're bringing like 3 players on, like Dan Juma and Dominic Calvert-Lewin and someone, all of a sudden you're going, trying to win this game. Where otherwise you're looking around going, last season, can we put Tom Davis on here or
Sims?
Ellis Sims on? It's not really the same level. So you have to have those players. Who knows who'll play?
I think as well, I wouldn't disagree with anyone who bet on Harrison and Danjuma to score more than McNeil this season. If they had the same amount of games. But the thing is, McNeil is almost a more traditional winger than them two as well. And if you're looking for someone for a delivery for your big 6'5" striker, maybe you do want McNeil on the pitch. But it goes back to what you're saying about options. Do you want McNeil for his potential delivery, playing on his strong foot, putting crosses in? Or do you want, the pace of Harrison cutting inside? Or, Dan Juma, he's proper wide forward, isn't he? So, again, it's options, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Frank says the bobble has just said Cannon's asked to leave, so get the bet. Well, he probably has asked to leave, but I'm not convinced he's asked to leave permanently, but he wants to go and play football. He's been kicking his heels for 2 weeks. The manager could have brought him on against Fulham, could have brought him on against Villa, and he put him on in the 91st minute the other day. So if I was Tom Cannon, I'd be right out the door. Be like, well, you're never giving me a go. Like you said earlier, me and Jack said, the manager might look at him and just think, you're not ready, mate, so I'm not going to play you. Well, that's sound. We'll let the lad go, and I'm sure they will let him go now. Whether he goes permanently or not, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Kevin Blazata says, I had a separate thought on Cannon, separate from the return we'd get. As we praised him for bringing him forward, he fit the profile. Does Cannon fit or complement Chimiti, Beto, Dom? Because if not, it may be best to just move him on anyway.
Yeah, that's fair enough. He's a different profile of striker, isn't he? Definitely. I think it's more a case of Tom Cannon might never be an Everton player. My whole thing about keeping him is I think we'll get more money in a year's time if we were to just loan him out. You're right, he's different. We're obviously targeting a specific type of centre forwards to play for the club. We've signed 2 rather similar types already this window to go along with, the one we're looking to keep is also similar to them. It's just about the value of Tom Cannon for me, with the argument for keeping him. I'm happy to see him go next summer for more money, because I think he would if we got him alone. Yeah, no, absolutely. Daniel, listen, I think the bobble's me mate, so it's fine. But saying Tom Cannon's looking for first team football, I think everybody's fully aware Tom Cannon's looking for first team football. It's whether or not it works for Everton. I imagine I don't know, he wanted to go to Preston, he was desperate to go back to Preston. He loves Ryan Lowe, he loves working with Ryan Lowe, he fits at Preston. Dead simple thing, like he doesn't have to move house or anything like that. Birmingham, all right, he could potentially still live here, but you've got an hour and a half drive every day to get to training. Middlesbrough, he'd have to move up there. Norwich,
Sunderland, he'd have to move, and Norwich, he'd have to move.
The end of the country, really.
So whether Everton go, well, all right, we want to sell you then. If the lad doesn't really fancy it, then they're not going to be able to sell him, because he still has a say in what he wants. Everton might go, right, I tell you what, 8 million quid, 8.5 million quid, we'll sell you with a buyback, or we'll sell you with a 30% sell-on fee, whatever. Who knows? And Darren, you're right. The 7 million could be used elsewhere.
Oh, definitely.
If Everton, I still think if there's definitely 3 clubs in for Tom Cannon, and there's no reason to believe that what I'm being told isn't accurate, to be fair, by the person who told me. If there is 3 clubs, then if Norwich have come in with their opening gambit to 7, you say to the other 2, we won 8.5. One of them will go to it. Absolutely, one of them will. Middlesbrough have got money. It's whether the lad wants to go to Middlesbrough. I'm led to believe he doesn't at this stage, because I think he might still have his heart set on a loan to Preston. But if Everton are looking for real money for him, then
Yeah, and you know, if you get 7-8 million coming, that could absolutely make the difference in the transfer this year. If that's all up front as well, that's potentially 2 down payments on 2 players,
Because
isn't it?
I guess, Jack, no, you're spot on, of course it is. I guess as well, when you're making these decisions, it's dead easy. Thanks, Steve, for how much they paid for Sulemana. If you're making these decisions, just say for argument's sake, you're Kevin Thelwell, and you're sitting there and you go, all right, we've got Tom Cannon who's 20, and these are offering 8 million, let's say it's 8 million quid. We've got Yusuf Chimiti, who's a year younger. We've agreed to pay 12.5 million quid for this kid, probably because we think he's better than Tom Cannon. So if Tom Cannon, is he really going to come back and be above Yusuf Chimiti just because he's had a good season in the Championship? And that's probably what they're looking at. And they might be looking and going, Dominic Calvert-Lewin is fit. Then Tom Cannon ain't getting past Calvert-Lewin. He's not getting past Beto. And he's probably not getting past the lad we've agreed to sign for 4.5 years, 4 years, whatever, and paid 12.5 million quid. But we can get 8 million now from these. These are the conversations Everton have to have, and we can try to be precious about them as fans because we want players who come through to do well. But if they've made a decision by seeing him every single day that they don't think he's Premier League quality, they'll make that decision. If they go, well, we can get this money now, and that helps us buy this player here. We get, like you said before, that 8 million come in and Everton wins. Actually, we can slap 8 million down now for Bakayoko, say, or Willie Nonce. You know, he could go back to Leeds and go, right, we'll pay the 30 million you want for Nonce, and we'll give you the 8 million, which is what you wanted up front. Now, Leeds might go, okay, the lad wants to go, job done. Shake hands, Leeds can do what they want, and we get Nonce. Then it's worth it in that respect, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's what they'll be considering and talking about, and this is the stuff only the club will know. You know, how far off we, in terms of money, off other targets that we need, and does the Cannon money make that up? And how far off is Tom Cannon from Premier League level? Will he ever be useful for us? Will he ever be worth more than this? They'll have a better understanding of both of those things than we will. That's why that's what they'll be talking about and considering. Got him, haven't he?
That's their job, isn't it? That's their job to do. So I think at the end of the day, if other clubs come in and pay them and offer more money, the lad might go. I think his ideal thing would be, I'm sure, would be going on loan to Preston because that's where he wants to go, let's be honest. And Preston don't have 8 million quid to buy him. So, Neal Maupay, would you play him tonight or not bother?
No, I wouldn't play him. I'd play Chimiti.
Yeah.
You know, he's got more of a future at Everton. He's not Premier League ready. We've got a game that's not in the Premier League. You know, let's see where he's at. Let him get into the team. Hopefully get a goal and get his confidence up.
Yeah.
Maupay for me is just a non-factor at this point. He's not going to be an Everton player by the end of the transfer window, most likely. He's had another chance. Against Fulham, he got another chance in the Premier League, which he arguably shouldn't have had after last season. He arguably should have been out the door before the season even started. It's not going to work for him at Everton. He's not going to be an Everton player. Let's move on. We've got a new lad. Give him the chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And who's it going to do more for? If Maupay played tonight and scored 2, great. But he's, like you just said, he's finished at Everton. He's 4th choice. If Dom's fit, all right, you could argue he's 3rd choice, maybe just ahead of Chimiti, but he's still 3rd choice in a team that plays 1. So it's a waste of time, really. You don't want to risk him getting a knock if you're trying to get him out the door anyway. So, let's see.
He might be above Chimiti now, but Chimiti's been brought into overtime, become a first-team player. Maupay never is going to be.
Well, hang on Saturday, we were 1-0 down. Sorry, it was 0-0, and there was half an hour to go, and Chimiti came on.
Yeah.
And when we went 1-0 down, Cannon came on. Maupay didn't.
That's what I think he's just done at Everton.
So, it's done, isn't it? It's done. Jez says Chimiti looked lively when he came on. Absolutely. Jeffrey Hodgson says don't forget to bum the like button. I mean, do whatever. Touch the like button. We like it. Be nice to the like button. We love it. Subscribe. We thrive. If you subscribe, we thrive. And we love that.
Do what the like button wants you to do.
Consensual.
Well. Yeah.
Always be consensual.
Have those chats. It's important.
It's very important. Jack Lee says Chimiti is the future star. People are sleeping on him.
Right, that people are sleeping on him.
Okay.
He's gonna cook.
He's going to...
That's what he said.
I hate that. You hate that phrase.
Yeah,
Look at
let
him
cook.
cooking. Oh, it's horrible.
We are cooking.
Horrible.
Let him cook.
Dave says, I like Cannon, but I think at the moment we need to look at what they can offer us now. We need to stay in the league. Yeah, fair play. I'm not saying sell him, by the way. I'm just saying we'll just have to
be
see.
looked at, doesn't it?
They've got to look at everything, I guess.
Where, 5 million off a player, that'll come in and really improve this team.
Yeah. Gordon says, watching Nonso last night, and he's a grafter, but don't think he'll be leaving Leeds now. Well, he wants to come, but Leeds have got all the cards, haven't they? And if they don't want to sell him, they don't have to sell him. Like we said before, his wages aren't going to put them in any danger this year, so they can just say, no, mate, you're not going.
Would Leeds be playing him at this point, obviously trying to rebuild that relationship, putting pictures of him up and that, if they weren't confident he'd be staying as well? Have they got an indication of Nonto, or just within themselves?
I think Everton are still getting lots of encouragement.
Do you think?
They are.
Yeah.
So the lad was advised by people around the deal to go back and play, because obviously it doesn't look good for you. Go back and try to soften Leeds' stance by playing. Go in, do your best, but he is still apparently letting Leeds know he's up for leaving. But for them, they hold all the cards, so they could turn around and go, "You're one of our prized assets, mate. We ain't selling you." Yeah. So therefore, putting pictures out of him and encourage him, it's what they're doing is they're mending that relationship with the fan base, who, don't forget, was singing "Get out of our club" and all that.
That's what I mean. If from Leeds' perspective, would they play him if they weren't of the opinion he's staying with us and it's our choice?
I think they had to play him on Saturday. They haven't won a game till Saturday, so they had to play him, didn't they? And they won 4-3. They played Sinistera, who haven't been playing. There was Sinistera, Nonso and Helder Costa, who were all training on their own because all three of them won out. So they played Nonso and they played Sinistera at the weekend. Both of them scored. They won 4-3. They got knocked out last night at the Carabao Cup. So they're going to play him because you see people playing. Che Adams was on his way out, but he played every game till Saturday for Southampton. Now, he'll be wounded because obviously Everton have got better. Southampton have cost him a move, but they've offered him a new contract, so he meant it. Simmons says, I liked it so much I hit the button twice. Is right. Well done. Well done. Last couple before we finish. So the team will be announced in half an hour, won't it? Or it might get leaked a little bit earlier than that. We'll know then. I'd love to see Chimiti start. I think he's got to. I think Dobbin should start, give him a bit more. I think Branthwaite needs to start, give him another 90.
Keep Branthwaite and Tarkowski together, let them.
I don't think he will, though. I think Ben Godfrey or Mike. In fact, this back two might be Godfrey and Keane. I know, but he might look at it. I wouldn't do that. I'd have Branthwaite in, and I'd pick Godfrey, and Michael Keane would be sub because Michael Keane's played this season and Godfrey hasn't. And Branthwaite, you want him playing games. Michalenko will play, I imagine. I'd leave Patterson there as well, because I think the more games he plays, the better.
And who else is there?
James Garner should play centrally tonight. Dobbin, Danjuma, Chimiti will be my front three. Big Beto on the bench, but we'll see. We'll see. Right, yeah, it does. West Egg, it does hitting the like button twice, undoes it, so you'd have to hit it thrice. There you go. Right, we are done. Enjoy the game. We will be, me and Ped will obviously be doing after-match stuff. We'll be back tomorrow. Come on, you Blues, just win the bloody game. Just win, will you? Score some goals. Thanks for watching. See you later.